Regime change in America? Well, it's not happening somewhere far away. This is happening inside the United States. What started as few voices slowly is rising as a protest that has now turned into a massive wave of anger. People are coming out on the streets with one clear message: no kings. What began as a small gathering quickly spread across the whole country, turning into one of the most widespread protest movements that has been seen in recent times. Well, from busy streets of New York to political heart of Washington, D.C., crowds have gathered in huge numbers. People are raising slogans, holding banners, demanding answers. But what makes this whole movement even more powerful is that it is not just limited to big cities. Even small towns like Driggs or Idaho, they have joined in, showing that this anger is not isolated. It's nationwide. And in fact, the reach of the moment, it is vast. The message is getting louder with every passing hour. And you know what it is about? Well, organizers are claiming a massive turnout. About 8 million people participating in over 3,300 protests across the country. These numbers are huge, by the way, almost historic. From coast to coast, from large urban centers to quiet rural areas, Americans are stepping out and making their voices heard. However, there is no official confirmation of these numbers that are still awaited, leaving the whole room for debate about the true scale of the protest now. Now, coming to an important question, what is this protest all about? Well, at the center of the unrest is the ongoing war in Iran. Many protesters believe that the war has pushed the country into unnecessary conflict here. Questions are being raised everywhere. Why this war? What is the end goal? Well, is it for American people? The frustration is not just about foreign policy here, but about the impact it is having back home. This anger is also directly aimed at their president, though, Mr. Donald Trump. Protesters are openly expressing dissatisfaction with his leadership, calling the whole situation a failure of decision-making at the highest level. Now, for many, this is not about one policy, it's about trust. It's about accountability and the direction in which the country is heading. Well, what is striking is the language that is being used on the streets. Words like mismanagement, failure, they are very common, but some voices are going even further, using the term regime change. Well, this is the phrase usually associated with foreign governments, right? But now it is being used by Americans for their own leader, showing the intensity of this whole moment. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, the impact of these protests is not limited to the United States alone here. Similar demonstrations and solidarity rallies have been reported in several European cities as well, where people are expressing support for this moment. This has turned a domestic protest into a global moment, by the way, with the world closely watching how the whole situation further unfolds. Despite the massive claims, questions remain. Are these truly among the largest protests in the modern US history, or are the numbers being overstated, with official figures yet to be confirmed? Well, the full picture still is emerging, but regardless of the exact count, the scale and intensity of the protest, it cannot be ignored simply. What is clear is that something significant is happening now. The anger is real. The participation is widespread and the message that's strong. This is more than just a protest though. It's a moment of pressure, a moment of political expression, and possibly a turning point. The streets are speaking loudly, and now the focus shifts to Washington. The big question remains, will the leadership really listen, or will this protest is going to be ignored?